I have to say I was incredibly proud. I couldn't believe how well she did. I couldn't believe how hard she worked to get to that day. And it wasn't, just coming to class, but you have to go home, you have to be self-disciplined, you have to practice, you have to, eat healthy, do other exercise just to be in your best shape. She worked so hard and it was beautiful. I thought she did beautifully and I was really proud. And, like I've always said to her, I think she's a reincarnated ninja spirit.
Well, I felt really tired, but that was the biggest emotion, but I was really proud of myself and I was happy that people were supporting me through it.
You have to look at this like school or work. You have to be committed, it has to be regular. When you don't do this regularly, it's harder. It is a lot easier if you come regularly, and I'm a working parent and I work as hard as they can work. So there's no one out there who can say that they work too hard to do this. That's an impossibility. We try to make it here regularly. It takes a lot of juggling, but it's the same kind of juggling you do to get to school or get to work. So we try to keep that a commitment. Sometimes we have to coax each other. I'll be like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm too achy. No, you have to go, Mom, and vice versa. So we help each other.
Never giving up. And you're committed. Even if it looks really hard, if you keep going at it, you can do it if you believe. Even if you fail the first time, the second time, and like millions of times, if you are committed and you eventually do it, that's what a black belt is.
And the more I do this, when I first started, I found it looked fun, and it is a lot of fun. And then it got harder and harder and harder, and I questioned more and more whether I could do it, especially I was getting older and I felt creakier, not younger and stronger like the kids. And I always told Master Joe, I'm never going to do my black belt, that is not my goal. And people said that would change, and I never believed them. But the more and more you do it, the more and more you believe what they've been telling you, that anyone can do it. And actually, with the other adults in the class and some close relationships, and we have, bonds, we really feel that we can do this, and we actually set a goal to do this, and it's really my goal to try to get my black belt next fall. I think it's sort of taught me that, to me, it represents a goal that you think is impossible. I've done many things in my life. I'm one of the older students, and many of us do things that come easier to us, and we sort of gravitate to do activities or work that's easier to us, fit to us. This martial arts didn't seem to be fit to me at all. And when I started, I felt like I had like 3 left feet and 4, left hands. But as I see myself doing it, it's a lesson that even when you think you can't do something, you can do it. Now, we haven't done it yet, so I still want to wait to see. But it's just a lesson in that anything can be done. And I think that you just have to break it down like you would with anything, set small goals, and that's what it's about, setting small goals to reach a giant goal.
I think that if I were to go back in the future, I wouldn't change a thing. I would continue, and I will continue for as long as I can, making more improvements and doing the best I can.
I think we've seen her grow up a lot. I mean, she's been here now, we were figuring it out the other day, probably just over 5 years. And she's gone from being a little tiny 6-year-old, she's 11, and we find her very responsible for an 11-year-old, very mature. I'm really, really proud how she interacts with other kids. I'm proud how she interacts with other adults. She's had the opportunity to help guide other adults, and always does it in a way where she's respectful and makes them feel good about themselves, confident, and I'm really proud of that. The skills are one thing, but I'm really proud just to see what sort of a young lady she's grown up to be, and she's still so young.